Okay, everybody, it's me, Gregory Mannarino. It is Wednesday, July 20th, 2022. This is my post-market wrap-up. People, let's sit back and let's just take in the shit show. So let's start off with the markets here. Fractional gain for the Dow Jones Industrial Average. Fractional gain for the S&P 500. A nice gain for the NASDAQ. Why? Well, when you have $52 billion in government subsidies, I'm laughing, I shouldn't laugh, about to be pumped into the tech sector, well, of course, you would get a nice little boost here. The market is so fake. The mechanism behind all of this is outrageous here. It could also be considered this subsidy of chip stocks by the government. Oh, it's the government doing it. No. It's the Federal Reserve working in concert with a puppet government to just pull cash out of wherever they got to pull it from and funnel it into wherever they want it to go. And you know that. I really do miss the days of a real market. I'm talking about years and years ago. What we have now is, something you would imagine you would see in some kind of a communist nation here where today nothing makes sense anymore. It's all managed, the entire financial system being rigged to the highest possible order by the biggest criminal cartel the world has ever known. Pointing at my hat over here, the Federal Reserve, who is determined to continue to foster a wealth transfer effect on an unbelievable scale, right up to the 1%ers. And in combination with, let's say, the largest investing firm on earth, I'm talking about BLACKROCK here, who's warning, or should I say threatening, of upcoming food shortages. People, do you see the writing on the wall here? When are people going to rise up is what I really want to know. I don't think ever. I don't believe it's ever going to happen. We're already past the point of no return, and you all know that. Anyway, so as I said, NASDAQ best performer here of the day because of, it could also be a backdoor bailout, however you want to look at it. With regard to the chip sector here, it's astonishing to me how members of Congress are allowed to trade on inside information. I'm talking about Nancy Pelosi. You know about this, right? Oh yeah, they jumped on the bandwagon before this whole thing was announced, and they're going to make millions, tens of millions, maybe more than that on this. It's astonishing. Have you ever seen or even heard of corruption like this before? This is the fall of empires. Every single empire falls for the same reasons, and that's corruption. And it is completely corrupt here, absolutely. So anyway, let's look at a few more facets of the market. So you're watching that 10-year yield? We're above 3%. Pretty big move today in the 10-year yield. What does that mean? More effort is going to be put in place to keep it suppressed. Although, again, in this environment, gauging from what we are seeing, action of the European Central Bank, we really should be higher with regard to the 10-year yield here. But let's see if they lose control again with that bang, 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 bang sell-off and that rising in the 10-year yield like we recently witnessed. Anyway, look, all the nonsense and all the garbage, including some of this. I mean, just check this out. Existing home sales, I'm laughing. I shouldn't laugh at this. It's just too unbelievable. Fall for 5 consecutive months. Well, I don't think that's a surprise to anyone out here, honestly, who understands that it's just over. Well, just listen to BlackRock. Again, the largest investment firm on earth. I think, and I could be wrong on this, but it's over 10 trillion, with a T, trillion dollars under management. I think they have a pretty good idea as to what's going on here. Do a little research into BlackRock for yourself. If they're telling you and me that they're expecting food shortages, well, I think that's more or less a promise, okay? We understand where this is going, and how the propaganda ministry is going to try to convince you that everything is great. Our economy is fantastic. Just look at the stock market. You see how great it's doing? That lie has been sold to people for decades. None more so than the last administration. And this one here, when the market was going up, I would have to say that President Mummy Man, he didn't tout the stock market too much, a little bit, but not like the lax guy. Oh, look at that stock market. Oh, yeah, rah, rah, rah. We're doing great. Just another big lie. The only thing that was propping up the stock market and making everything look real was the fact that he had the Federal Reserve. I'm talking about President Trump, pumping this market on overdrive, and while at the same time telling people that we needed negative rates, telling people that we needed a weaker dollar. Oh yeah, how's that working out for you now? Not too good. But anyway, look, with regard to inflation and the weaker dollar, I'm talking about in absolute terms, its purchasing power. People, how do I say this another way to you? You haven't seen anything yet. When you hear the mainstream media trying to, again, convince you that things are getting better, you know they're actually getting worse very, very quickly. And they're going to continue to push some other kind of deceptive kind of scheme on everyone here, whether it's, in our face stimulus for, let's say, the tech sector, another $52 billion. You got the World Bank saying, oh yeah, developed nations, hello United States of America and other developed nations around the world, you better start contributing more to impoverished nations around the world, or we're all going to suffer. Well, we're all going to suffer anyway. And it's going to be a lot worse here, because the root cause of the problem, the root cause of the issue is ballooning debt. And I think that's pretty evident too. But again, they're going to keep that mechanism going. It's just not going to stop until we reach that moment where it does stop. Again, I call this the moment of maximum saturation. What do we know? We know that central banks are in here. They're going to continue to inflate the global debt beyond anyone's wildest dreams. It's worse than a freaking Frankenstein movie or some sci-fi thing out there. And at the same time, they're going to try to tell you that they really care about inflation and they want to do something about it. No, they're going to continue to inflate because that's their goal. And they're going to be working again with puppet governments to pull tens of billions, hundreds of billions of dollars into the now just to allow the system to function. I've been telling people for, an entire decade, you want to end the Federal Reserve? You want to end any central bank? You could do it in a nanosecond. Literally, all you have to do, let's say in the case of the Federal Reserve, is prevent them from issuing $1 single of more debt. Just $1 single. If we were able to prevent the Fed from making another dollar, whether with printing it out of adding it to a digital screen or printing it, it's over. The entire system implodes. $1 single. But you see, you're not allowed to know that either. You're supposed to believe that the system is real. The system is not real. The system is fiat. It operates on the premise that it will work just because it will. And the debt-based system is a curse. It's a curse upon mankind. It has created slave nations and individual slaves. And in order to function, more slaves must be created. Imagine my shock. Who could possibly have come up with a system like that? Look, as you all well know, we had at one point a wealth-based system that was literally going to make everyone rich. That's the truth. That was what our forefathers envisioned, a commodity-backed financial system, and that got taken away from us. And a methodical, diabolical scheme to convert the world into a fiat monetary system, and that's why the world is in the shape that it's in right now. And well, it's pretty much over at this particular time. Anyway, I want to hear from you. What do you think about this BlackRock? The BlackRock CEO, Larry Fink, warns of food shortages. Do you consider that a promise or a threat or just a prediction? I want to hear from you. Right now, what do you think it is off the top of your head? Ready? Just comment. It's a threat, it's a promise, or it's just a prediction. What do you think? And like I said, existing home sales cratering for 5 straight months, people, and more subsidies and whatever else they want to throw at us. It's like I've said for years, they're going to do things that you and I can't even believe or come up with because we're not that creative. But yet, what we have to understand is, again, it's a show here. The Democrats, the Republicans, they're all working together here, along with the central bank. It's all the whole Democrat-Republican thing. It's just a mechanism to keep people angry, confused, off balance, not really able to understand what's happening, blaming these people, then these people blaming these people. The fact of the matter is, it's all a game to distract you, to keep your eye off the ball, which is the central bank, the Federal Reserve, who's running the entire show. Why do you think, for example, people like Nancy Pelosi can get away with insider trading? All of them can. And none of them will be held to account, ever. That's just the way it is. But you and me, they'd be at our door in handcuffs right now, putting us in handcuffs. And we'd be getting a nice, well, let's just leave it at that. All right, people, look, this guy here loves you a lot. Please comment here. Let me know what you think, as usual. I read the comments. I really do. Share the video. Get it out there. I will see all of you in the morning. That's all.